Unmasking the Syntax of Freedom, exploring market-driven societies and structural realities. The prevailing intellectual culture within any society does indeed reflect the interests and needs of the dominant group. Historical contexts shape the beliefs, values, and ideologies that govern the collective mindset. In societies where power and control are concentrated in the hands of a few, the dominant intellectual culture often mirrors and reinforces these interests. Academic disciplines like psychology, sociology, history, and political science often echo the perspectives beneficial to the ruling elite, and those who challenge these paradigms risk being sidelined or labeled as radicals. Furthermore, societal values heavily influence what is rewarded and perpetuated within that culture. In a world where material wealth is elevated as the measure of success and status, societal priorities shift away from genuine social contributions towards artificial wealth accumulation and perpetual growth. This value system disorder takes precedence, subverting the importance of personal and social well-being. It becomes deeply ingrained in every aspect of society, from governance and media to entertainment and academia, forming protective mechanisms against dissenting thoughts. The defenders of the prevailing system, often proponents of the monetary market religion, tend to employ projected dualities as a means to dismiss alternative perspectives. This binary approach simplifies complex issues, labeling those who challenge the status quo as extreme opposites. For instance, if one questions the efficacy of the free market system, they're hastily branded as being against the concept of freedom itself, creating an artificial dichotomy that stifles nuanced discourse and critical thinking. The rhetoric of freedom and government interference is deeply intertwined with the agenda of perpetuating a market-driven society. What might seem like expressions advocating freedom or safeguarding against government intrusion often masks a singular agenda: protecting the interests of private money possessors and maximizing profit. Behind the veneer of lofty ideals like freedom, democracy, and progress lies a syntax, a governing structure of understanding and value that serves these interests. The notion of freedom, commonly tied to democracy, often deceives individuals into believing they possess influence over their government. However, the reality starkly contrasts this illusion. Within market systems, the only vote that truly holds weight is the monetary vote. No amount of ethical outcry or activism can match the influence of wealth in a system where politicians, legislations, and governments themselves are up for sale. The concept of political action in such a system becomes a facade. Movements that seemingly bring change, like the civil rights movement, are often accommodations orchestrated by those who hold power. The illusion of choice through voting is perpetuated, offering an illusion of liberty, masking the pre-established limits of meaningful debate. Those questioning the system's integrity are quickly marginalized, labeled as disloyal, or relegated as conspiracy theorists. Two defenses often arise in defense of this system: the claim that it's the cause of material progress, and the fear of tyranny under alternative social systems. However, this argument is flawed. Material progress owes itself more to scientific advancement and the discovery of abundant energy sources than to the market system, which merely capitalizes on these advancements. The fear of tyranny under different systems is steeped in propaganda, juxtaposing despotic regimes with societal approaches while ignoring the systemic daily mass violence perpetuated by the current system. Structural violence, often overshadowed by behavioral violence, claims more lives than wars, murders, and suicides combined. Famines, for instance, aren't due to food scarcity but the inequitable distribution of economic resources, leading to relative poverty. The lack of access to essential medicines in impoverished areas demonstrates how structural violence, particularly poverty, becomes the deadliest form of violence, claiming countless lives due to financial constraints rather than a lack of medical knowledge or resources. In essence, the rhetoric of freedom and democracy often camouflages the realities of market-driven societies, hiding behind a syntax that perpetuates the interests of a select few while neglecting the systemic violence and inequalities embedded within the current socio-economic system.